I feel like I've always had to do art. I don't feel like it was ever a choice to do art. I knew it was something I was destined to do. I was never very naturally good at it, so I just basically set my life in a direction to follow that, and I set the stage in order to follow that career as easily as possible. How does each mosaic work from start to finish? Each one is a little bit different on the whole process, but generally how it works is I'll have a vague idea, and I'll have to figure out the next step, which would either be I'll get photographs, or I'll just sketch around, or I'll get together with somebody and try and put together a more cohesive idea, a more cohesive picture of what I'm going to make. Once I have a smaller picture of what I'm going to do and it looks right, or it's about 75% of what I think is going to work, then I will sketch it out full size, like these. And I usually sketch them out on like 70 or 80 pound brown paper. I'll use pastels to color them all in. And the colors that I use in the pastels are going to be as identical as I can to the actual finished colors. And so I try and work out all of my problems on the paper. I don't want to be working out problems with tile because that's very expensive and time consuming. And so I try and get from 75% on the small paper to say 90 or 95% on the large paper full size, and then at that point I'll start test firing colors, and so I'll get the tile, glaze it, and actually start firing it to see what the colors look like finished and fired. I'll set those together. I'll make sure everything is going to be cohesive, make sure the colors look right together or separate or whatever. And after that, if everything fires correctly and everything looks good, then I actually start to make the tile. And so that tile process starts with a block, a 25 pound block of clay, and I'll throw it, roll it out, cut it, and dry it. After that, I fire it in the kiln. After that, take it out of the kiln, glaze it, refire it, hope that everything turns out right. Take it out after that's all done and start actually physically at that point putting it together for the first time. And if there's any pieces that have to be cut or shaped, then I'll use whatever tools I have at my disposal. And it depends on what kind of cuts that I need to make. And so I'll cut them by hand and piece them together, and I glue those down onto a large fiberglass mesh, and that allows me to change stuff around and move things. And so that's basically it. After I finish the mosaic on the fiberglass mesh, then I'll lift the whole piece up at one time and set it into a bed of mortar, which can be in a floor, on a wall, or on some backer board. Same exact kind of backer board that go in a residential home on a wall or a floor. And so I set it in mortar, thin set mortar, let that cure, and then I grout it with a high quality grout product. And basically that's it. It's the same quality as tile that would go in your floor or in your wall at your home or in a more commercial kind of setting. So I build them pretty strong. In each one of the mosaics, I like to create the feeling or the vibrance of movement in all the background small pieces. So you have the subject that seems fairly static. The way the pieces are structured and the way they turn and twist, to me, gives it a feeling of movement. And in that piece, there's so many of those background tile compared to the amount of subject in it, like the fish and the lily pads and things like that, that I think that vibrance and that movement comes through a little bit more. It wasn't my sole intention to try and give that one movement, but that idea of movement in it comes out a lot more in that.